You've seen this, right? The square cube law. Now, I've looked into this many times, and overall, it makes sense, but I do think there are some questionable statements, specifically when it comes to relative strength. And who said that the square cube law was 100% accurate in the first place? We know that strength is directly proportional to the cross-sectional area of an object. The cross-sectional area increases at a scale of times 4, but volume, weight, and mass is scaled by times 8. Because of this, the giant would not be able to support themselves unless they had radical readjustment to their anatomy. Okay, I see where they're going with this. But there's two problems worth pointing out. First, that in itself doesn't explain away the historical, even reliable accounts of ancient people encountering living giants. Second, all they really did was just scale up strength according to cross-sectional area alone. Strength is simply a physical property that is measured in both 2D and 3D measurements. Cross-section in itself doesn't determine strength. In theory, this means that strength is also scaled in proportion to volume, just like weight and mass. The human skeleton, on average, is capable of supporting 19,000 pounds. Scaling up the skeleton to 11 feet would increase its strength times 4, meaning it's able to support 76,000 pounds. Each muscle fiber can move things 1,000 times its weight, roughly 30 to 40 newtons. And the muscular system as a whole has a median of 650 million fibers. The arm is capable of producing 1600 newtons, the legs 1250 newtons, the torso 750 newtons, the neck 15 to 383 newtons. The head can withstand up to 73 newtons without any fractures, and the newtons of the hands and feet are dependent on what activities are done. So for the giant, the following weight and newtons are present here. The total weight of this new giant is about 1,496.48 pounds. But would this body not be able to function or support itself? Actually, it would. His arm based on volume would produce 6,400 newtons, easily making up for his 80-pound arm. His legs 4,800 newtons, making up for his 306.4 pound leg, and so on. In short, a human around 11 feet 8 inches tall is perfectly suited for Earth's environment. I could do a similar procedure with 3 more giants, but I don't need to. You should get the idea. The results will be very similar. Now, what did I do differently? Instead of measuring strength by cross-sectional area, I measure it based on the whole structure of the object and amount of newtons it can produce, regardless of how large it is. Overall, while cross-sectional area has a scale of times 4, strength is scaled in proportion to the increase in volume. So then why is it that the tallest humans today simply cannot get anywhere near that size? Why don't we see elephant-sized mice, birds as large as airplanes, ants the size of cars, snakes as long as trains, or trees miles tall? That answer may lie in the genetics themselves. You see, genetics play a role in how big something can get, specifically how big it is allowed to get. It has established limits, and any attempt to bypass this would result in the body not functioning properly. The only way this can be bypassed is if the genetics themselves were reprogrammed to allow larger growth. Robert Wadlow is an example of a man that grew massive because of a tumor, not out of healthy genetic material. That's why he and others with gigantism has a lot of health problems. Gigantism is a disorder, not a healthy genetic trait. Naturally, the genetics are programmed to restrict the relative strength of the creature the larger it gets. This is based on what we see in nature. The restriction means adding thicker bones, more muscles, and beefier parts to the larger plant and animal, but at the cost of its agility and relative strength. The elephant is just an example of a chunky animal. It's not like this simply because of its weight. Its evolution can be traced back to a smaller ancestor that was also a chunky animal. The larger descendants are a nerf variant of that ancestor, despite possessing greater physical strength than the smaller one. In a world where things could get bigger, the restrictions would not be so strict because there is more resources to provide for their massive bodies. We therefore don't see giant humans or animals according to folklore because they gone extinct. The world didn't have enough to sustain them, and the smaller ones ended up dominating the giants.